जब जगे तभी सवेरा. It means if one realizes at any moment, that very moment can become the beginning of good, beginning of positivity, beginning of neutralizing the karmas, beginning of nourishing the natural law, the beginning of nullifying all those things what happened through the person. So, jab jage tabhi savera means it is better to realize at any moment, but just after realizing, as soon as one realizes, immediately, that is the moment when one should start doing all those things which are in accordance with natural law on manasa, vacha, karmana, on thinking level, on speech level, and on the level of action. It should nourish nature, it should nourish every level of universe, every level of all creatures. Again, we repeat, whether it is animate or inanimate. It means that if a person realizes, if a person wants to get the showering of blessings of nature, if one wants to neutralize whatever happened through him or her, knowingly and unknowingly, if one immediately starts realizing it and rectifying it through good karmas, then things will start changing in favor. It is very, very important. But normally, what happens? To rectify one mistake, another mistake is committed, then again and again. All these repetitions, they make things complicated, unnecessarily complicated, and things get worse and worse and worse. So, jab jage tabhi savera. It means as soon as one realizes by good guidance, by good guru, by good advices, because nature guides us on every plane, on every moment, what is right, what is wrong. And everybody's conscience, and we can see it in every creature of universe, that conscience of everybody knows what is right and what is wrong. But the thing is, that is maya, that is illusion, that is all those forces which suppress that, which overlays that, which overlaps that. So, that is also the play of time, kal ki gati. But as soon as one realizes it, one should start immediately indulged in all those activities which are nourishing nature, which are positive, which are holy, which are pious, which are good to nourish natural laws. So as soon as when, like it is said, Purva Janamam Kritam Papam Vyadhi Rupen Badhyate. It means whatever one does in the past We can take it as previous births or we can take it as previous movements. Whatever one does which is not in accordance with natural law comes back in the form of diseases. And diseases means there are various types of diseases, physical, mental, and spiritual. Physical things can be seen on physical level. Mental things can be seen on mental level. Like that on every plane. So, if we realize it, that, well, this is not natural law supporting, this is not nourishing each and everybody, it is not nourishing to Mother Nature, then one should realize and start changing the direction. And what is good, what is bad, every individual knows. And if by any chance one is not aware of that, then there are so many good guidance available in the society, in the form of guru, in the form of texts, in the form of literature, in the form of natural law based, that is all Vedic science. Vedic science is all the laws described in beautiful way in all branches of knowledge. Vedic science is the bunch of those natural laws in all dimensions of life. It is something wonderful, it is something holistic, and it is something which tells the consequences on every level. And that is something wonderful, literally wonderful, that these Vedic sciences, all the branches of Vedic sciences, they tell that if you do this, this will happen. So, like E is equal to mc square, and energy converts into matter, matter can be converted into energy, whatever right or wrong this formula is. But the natural laws are definite and universal. If you do this, this will happen. It is a natural law. And all Vedic sciences, all the branches of Vedic sciences, they express that every doing has some repercussions, some responses by nature. So Vedic science is the knowledge of these natural laws, that if you do this, this will happen. Now let us examine on very beautiful planes. Like there are 4 Vedas, Rig Ved, Samved, Yajurved and Atharved. These are pure sciences. And there are 4 applied sciences associated with it, in the form of Upaveda. Upaveda means, Veda means knowledge. Upaveda means there are these 4 Upavedas. These are applied sciences. What are these 4 applied sciences? Ayurveda, Gandharveda, STHAPATYA VED. Vastu Shastra is very small part of this big STHAPATYA VED, and Dhanurved. So these are the branches, and then there are 6 Vedangas. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaran, Nirukta, Chand, Jyotish. There are 4 Upangas. Why Anga means part of body. So whole Vedic literature is considered as a full body, and there are Angas, Upangas, Vedangas. So there are many limbs of parts, sub-parts of these Vedic sciences. All the branches of Vedic sciences are called as Upaved, Upaved, Vedangas, Upangas. So there are 6 Upangas: Nyaya, Vaisheshik, Sankhya, Yoga, Karma Mimamsa and Vedanta. Then Itihas, Puran, Smriti, Upanishad, Aranyak, Brahman. it is all a structure of Vedic literature. And this is a guiding light. It is the guidance how natural law functions. Like if we start taking one by one, then it will take whole lot of time. But in very short, if you take Ayurveda, in Ayurveda, this is natural law. This is the bunch of natural law. This is the secret of how nature functions on physical plane, and how it affects mental plane in consequences. So like if one has the body in Ayurveda, every body is Vata prominent, Pitta prominent, Kapha prominent, like that. So if you eat something which is against the structure, Mool Prakriti, basic structure of your body, then if your body is Pitta prominent, it means your body is more fire prominent, more bile prominent. So if it means if you eat something which is more acidic, more spicy, then what is the result which is going to happen? More acidity, more anxiety, more restlessness. Like that, in Ayurveda, all these laws are described, that these are the individuals. These individuals have these physiological structures. These are the classification of physiological structure. These are the qualities. These are the physical and chemical qualities of this physiology. And these are the physical and chemical qualities of available vegetables and fruits and whatever natural things are there. So these are natural laws which are described in this branch of natural law, that if you do this, this will happen in consequence. Similarly, in Gandharva Veda, in Sthapat Veda, in Jyotish, in Gandharva Veda, these are the sounds, these are the composition of sounds. And every composition of sound has some qualities. It is Vata Pitta Kapha promoting qualities, or Vata Pitta Kapha neutralizing qualities. It is more, this sound is more peace creating. This sound is more energetic, like we see in all music. If a music is more beats prominent, then everybody starts dancing. If it is sad, then a person goes in that emotional plane. If it is more blissful, then one starts dancing with the bliss. So these are the branches of Vedic science which tells what is going to happen by what natural law. Similarly, in Atharvaveda, the Upaveda of in STHAPATYA, all the laws of nature, that if you live in this type of building, which is open to this side, close to this side, more open to this side, more open to that side. On this side it has windows, on this side it is having doors. So let us examine how beautifully it tells the consequences in a building. If we have wrong constructions, just imagine a person is very bile prominent. The person is very acidic prominent. Very quickly acidity occurs in the body of a person. If that person is living in a building which is on northern hemisphere, and it is having very big windows in south, southwest, western, southwest, then what will happen? In summers, here temperature goes to 40, 45, 48 degree. So if a bedroom has a big windows in south, southwest corner, then what will happen? All that 45, 48 degree temperature will enter in the person's bedroom. By air conditioners, we can reduce the temperature. But what about radiations? So if we don't know it, if we are ignorant of it, and a person's physiology is exposed by that radiation, and it is horrible if suppose you are not having that comfort, but you are ignorant, and that radiation is coming from south-southwest, all 48 degree temperature. So the body will have extreme acidity, and person will have acidity, anxiety, insomnia, heart problems because of this extra acidic secretion in the person's body. It is so scientific. It is not myth. It is not miracle. It is not so-called stories. It is very, very scientific things what one can realize in direct manner. So this is Sthapatya Ved. And we know it that if newly born baby takes birth and starts suffering from jaundice, then all the allopathic doctors, they say that expose this child in the early morning rising sun. And what happens? Jaundice gets cured. So what does it mean? It means that jaundice means the problem of liver. So if a newly born baby is exposed in early morning sun, then what happens? That rising sun's radiation, that is non-matter. But when a baby is exposed with that, then some chemicals are produced in the body, and those chemicals work as medicine, and they cure liver, and jaundice is cured. So just now apply it in Sthapatya Ved Vastu Shastra. If you have a building which is having all those exact degrees open, where it is giving access to those radiations in that building, where if one is unable to go to walk for morning walk, but a person is receiving all those radiations, his or her body is exposed with that radiation, then what will happen? Naturally, liver will get more nourishment. It will get more strengthening, more strength. And digestion of all those persons will be very strong. So when digestion is strong, then your blood is strong, oxygen carrying capacity is strong. Then if you breathe, oxygen goes in your lungs, oxyhemoglobin is formed, then it goes to all cells of your body. So if digestion is strong, then directly, indirectly, your every organ is very strong. Immunity becomes strong. Then you can fight with all those diseases which might affect your body. So it means if you are living in a good Sthapatya Ved Vastu Shastra based homes, then those houses are made in accordance with natural laws by local, what longitude, latitude your house is made, so that what radiation is beneficial for the persons who are going to reside in, according to magnetic field, according to celestial bodies, according to the radiations of different planets, from sun and all those things. So these are very, very important things, because now what we see as a lifestyle diseases, there are many diseases doctors even don't know why it happens. They just have glimpse here and there, then it might happen because of this, like Alzheimer, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis. There are so many diseases which were not even mentioned in ancient literature or history, there are many things which never happened in the society in ancient, if you say in ancient Indian societies. There were not so many diseases what we find today. It was not even mentioned in the ancient historical or ancient literature of Vedic geographical areas. It means that because life was, people were eating according to natural law, and because all Ayurveda was prominent, they were living in Sthapatya Vedic Vastu Shastra based homes, so they were having all nourishment of natural radiations. Body was immune, having very good immunity, having all good resistance. So everybody was healthy. All these Chinese travelers, Fayan and Wayne Sang, so we find all these things, that what type of health was there in that time. So these are the secrets of those natural laws. Natural laws, I repeat, natural laws. It is not it is not the text or knowledge of any sect or any particular this geographical or any part of society. It is a universal natural laws which are catering and which can cater each and every person living on every longitude, latitude of the earth. And in Sthapatya Ved, all these radiations, all around the season, all 360 degrees, in every day, sun rises, goes to this side, sunrise in the east, goes in the west, whether in northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. In northern hemisphere, it is mostly on south side. In southern hemisphere, it's mostly on other side. So these in Sthapatya, all these delicate knowledge is there, that on which date, on which month, on which season, on which direction, on which degree, what type of physical chemical properties are carrying by these radiations along with the magnetic field and all that. So the person who is going to reside in the Sthapatya Ved Vastu Shastra based homes, because a person is not nourished by the food only. Food is a material value, and there are many things, like we know vitamin D is very much required. So how vitamin D is received by the body? By the sun. Because all those artificial means might not be that nourishing, because radiation from these celestial bodies, from sun and all those, they are in the purest. When we eat something, we eat in very grosser form. Gradually, through emulsification by the digestive processes, it converts into micro and micro and micro level. When it reaches to the cell, we have billions of cells. When it reaches to the cell, it is in the very, very micro form. But when we receive radiations, the radiations are already in those microforms that it can directly charge the body. Like if a baby who is suffering from jaundice, if baby is exposed in the early morning sun, then jaundice gets cured. How it is cured? Because that radiation, that solar radiation, which is non-matter, it created some chemicals in that baby's body, and that works, functions like medicine, and liver is cured. Similarly, whatever, because we see in all season, all types of fruits, all types of grains, all types of chemicals we find in nature. Similarly, if we plan a building according to Sthapatya Ved Vastu Shastra, so then in all those directions, whatever radiations we are receiving from nature, from sun, from all those celestial bodies, we get all those protein, carbohydrate, minerals, vitamin, and all those nourishment through these radiation in the micro form. And we have already seen this basic example that early morning sun, that radiation cures the liver of a newly born baby who is suffering from jaundice. And this is recommended by all the more modern doctors, modern allopathic doctors, that if a baby is suffering from jaundice, expose it in early morning short sun. So the same sun has that quality which cures liver in the morning, but the same sun, when it goes in southwest in afternoon 2 or 3 p.m. in hot summer, then the same sun creates acidity in the body, anxiety, more bile, more pitta. If one goes in summer, in outside, not properly dressed, then what happens? Sunstrokes, flu, very high fever. Why it happens? Because in summer, that sun, it is responsible to create excess pitta, excess bile. So, if a person lives in the right vastu, right Sthapatya Vedic homes, that has the planning, which side will nourish in which season, which window, what size of window, what proportion, what brahmasthan, what center courtyard, what color, what proportion, how it is going to affect the person who is going to live in that house. So these are all, there are many branches of Vedic science which are based absolutely on natural laws, and those natural laws are the secret how to make your physical body healthy, mental plane healthy, spiritual evolvement all the time. So if there are many other branches of Vedic science which we'll take in future in different lectures, but now this is very high time to understand, for every individual of this globe, wherever, in whatever country, whatever longitude, latitude a person is living, that these are the branches of knowledge which are having full detail. I tell you full detail, because in Sthapatya Ved there are thousands of houses given by the names, by different names, different town plannings, Dhruv, Dhan, Jai, Nand, Khar, Kaan, Sumuk, Dumuk, Akran. There are many types of variety, hundreds of thousands of varieties. By mentioning even names, and in those names, these are not mere names. These names are adjective in itself also. These are expressing the quality of that house, that this house is good for this quality, this house is good for that quality. And now we can understand it very comfortably that the house which is open in that northeastern side, it means that is having very good rising sun. And as we knew that radiation is very good for newly born babies suffering from jaundice, that radiation cures that. It means if a house is that type, it means it is going to be very good for persons who are suffering from liver diseases. Similarly, if a house is widely open in southwest side, then the persons who are suffering from high blood pressure, anxiety, restlessness, insomnia, it means that house is not very good for those persons. So what type of house are creating what type of problems, and how those problems can be addressed by the shapes, opening, placing the right windows and doors and colors and proportion of the house. We can address these problems, So this is something very, very important, and this is very high time, because we are seeing millions of people are suffering and they are not catered properly, because there are many diseases which can't be diagnosed in right time. And we don't have, in modern science, we don't have treatment and medicines for all those diseases. What I am repeating, what we didn't find in our ancient societies, in whatever country. So this is very high time to revive these Vedic sciences, which are universal natural laws, which are going to cater each and every person of the globe living on any longitude, latitude, which are preventive. These things are where health can be addressed in advance, so that nobody will fall sick. So prevention is better than cure, we know that. So if we start to revive these branches of knowledge, which will take gradually one by one, but I just give description of Ayurveda and STHAPATYA VED and Gandharva VED. So we'll take step by step, one by one, all the branches of knowledge. So these branches of knowledge of Vedic science must be revived to make every individual of society more healthy on physical plane, more healthy on mental plane. Now we see there are so many diseases. What we never heard 30, 40, 50 years ago, we never heard of those diseases. Depression and this and that. We never heard of these things 40, 50 years ago. Maybe very, very, very rarely. But now, unfortunately, we find it in very young age. And in all those people who are considered great celebrities, who can afford anything, who have more than enough in their banks. So what does it mean? That there is something which can't be purchased by money, which can't be cured by money, by modern medicine, or whatever medicines are available now. It means to address these problems, it is not good to cure it when it happens. It is good to prevent it. And all these branches of Vedic science, they prevent the heyam dukkham anagatam. It prevents the danger which is yet to come. If you do proper meditation, if you do proper yoga, if you live in proper Sthapat Vedic homes, if you follow right Ritucharya, in what season, what quality of food, what type of physiology should take. So if you are doing right meditation, if you are doing following right lifestyle, if you are doing right things in your diet, you are taking right diet, if you are taking in right homes with right proportions, with right directions of windows, with right directions of doors, with right shapes, with right proportions, you hear right sounds at right time. So these are various natural laws which can prevent the danger which is yet to come. So it can be preventive for physical health, mental health, and spiritual evolution. So these branches of Vedic science must be revived, recognized by each and every society of globe to make our society more healthy, more blissful, more harmonious, more in peace, to enjoy every moment of life. This is a call of this time, and it is very high time to realize it. Everybody should realize it, incorporate it in their policies on governmental level, on social level, on individual level also, so that every individual is physically fit, mentally at peace, and spiritually evolving all the time to make this world a better and best place to live.